I didn't think we'd be back here so soon. We did a Huarache just, I don't know, 2 or 3 days ago. It was a Scream Green, great looking shoe. Hopefully you can see up here on the green screen right now. And then here today we're coming back with another one. And it kind of answers a question that I had recently when we were talking about how the 30th anniversary year and the 25th anniversary year last year of the Air Max 90s and the Air Max 95s, what were they going to do this year? Where were they going to go with that? Because there's kind of a blank in that series. But here we are, 3 days apart with 2 Air Huarache. So maybe this is the shoe that's going to get the big push this year. Last year it was the Air Max 90s and the Air Max 95s, and this year maybe, just maybe, it's a Huarache. And today it's an absolutely cracking shoe, but there are some things about it that I just don't know and I'm not 100% sure of. For example, where is the Stussy on this shoe? And that kind of all important question is, would I have stopped on this shoe if it hadn't been for that Stussy branding? If this was just a plain old Huarache coming down the line in this colorway, would it have caught my eye? So let's get into the branding on the shoe. Let's get into the details on the shoe, the choices of color, the materials, and those 2 questions as we take a close-up look at the upcoming release of the Nike Air Huarache Desert Oak from Stussy. This is the Tokyo Butter 23 Sneaker Channel. Tokyo Butter 23 Sneaker Channel です。毎日アップするので、毎日見てください. And every single day from Tokyo, Japan, I bring you content about upcoming sneaker releases, sneaker news, and sneaker reviews. And today in the spotlight is a double release, February 12th and February the 18th. I think I'm right in saying. First, February 12th, it might just be the Stussy flagship London store that they're bringing these guys out first, and then later on the Sneakers app, we should be seeing these guys coming down the line on the 18th, a week later. So very quickly, I mean, this video will probably be going up onto my channel on about the 11th, I think, the day before the first drop, of course, a limited run, and then a week later we get that Sneakers drop. And I might just be tempted to try and get a hold of a pair of these, either for myself or more likely for Mrs. Butter, who likes herself a pair of Huaraches. So like I said as well, though, you know, we were looking at a pair of the Scream Greens just a few days ago, and it really surprised me then to see another pair coming down the line. But maybe, just maybe, their 30th anniversary year of the Huaraches, and maybe they're going to push them hard. So this could be the shoe of the year to keep an eye out for coming down the line. So and also I won't do it today, but last time we compared it to a gift from a viewer. Thank you very much, viewer out there, who sent me a pair of shoes, actually 3 pairs of shoes, because we have similar shoe sizes, and it was a beautiful green suede pair of Huarache. And I had bad memories of Huaraches where I wore and had a pair. My first pair were just an awful fit, and I just didn't like them at all and put me off completely. This pair that I've got now, very snug fit. Those Scream Greens, crazy looking shoe, but these guys, these Desert Oaks from Stussy, an absolutely beautiful looking shoe which might be worth getting your hands on. Not such a huge fan of the dark green olives, which are projected to come a little bit later, which is a repeat of a previous version of the Huarache, and they don't catch my eye in the same way these guys catch my eye. There's something about the way they blend the colors together on this shoe that just really fits well for me, and I think absolutely yes. But I have to disappoint you right off the bat. I asked that question at the top of this video about where's the Stussy on these shoes, where'd you find the branding? I can't find it anywhere at all. I mean, medial side, lateral side, toe, heel, insole, outsole, anywhere on this shoe, I just can't find any place where it has Stussy branding. Now, there was a Stussy tie-up, I think it was the Air Force Ones. Hopefully I'll be able to find the shoe and throw it up behind me here. And I remember, I've got vague memories of it being this kind of blingy shoe with a lot of brightness and colour and flash on it. And then these guys here, I just can't find anywhere that says Stussy on it at all. I do know that they were designed, the Huaraches, these Huaraches Desert Oak Huaraches were designed by a designer at Stussy and a designer at Nike collaborating together. So there's at least a tie-up between the 2 brands, but I'm not so sure about the actual shoe itself and whether there's any placement of the Stussy branding, for example, at the top of the tongues or on the insole. So, but that doesn't take away from it being a great looking shoe, an absolutely beautiful shoe. And that answers my second question. Would I have stopped on this shoe if it hadn't had that Stussy branding? You damn right I would have. It wasn't the Stussy that stopped me. It was the shoe itself. I was just like, yes, this is exactly what I'm looking for in a shoe. I don't like disjointed shoes. I don't like shoes that have like a red upper and a yellow outsole or something like that. And we'll get to that later in this week when we look at some of my question mids, which are exactly that. But shoes that clash is not my style. I'm much more about shoes that kind of flow and complement each other, not contrast each other. And these guys do exactly that. And there's basically 4 parts to the shoe to talk about in those terms. So we'll start at the front and we'll work our way back. And I'm going with brown suede here, light brown suede on the toe, which hopefully we've cut down to and gotten a bit closer up on the green screen. You can see that toe wrap around on the front there in that light brown colorway. And then you go back from that to the midfoot section, you see again the same material and the same color. So that's color point number 1 and material point number 1. And I'm going with suede. I might be wrong with that, and people out there can correct me in the comments down below. In fact, please do if I am wrong about that. But the point is that that's our first color, the first stop in this journey through a very nicely put together shoe. So and whatever material it is, it's a natural material, a leather of some kind, if it's nubuck or suede or leather itself. But I'm going with suede as far as I'm concerned. But that's where our natural materials stop, and then we get into 2 layers of neoprene. You start just behind that light brown color. You get into a more, I'm going with cream is what I'm going with on that neoprene. Now my Huaraches with the olive green suede, this part of the shoe is actually also suede. But a few days ago, the Scream greens, also it was neoprene on the toe and not the same leather that wraps around it. So you've got the suede wrapped around these guys, and you don't have the suede on the toe box. Instead what you have is that neoprene, and what I'm going for is a sort of light cream, and that runs back through the shoe to the midfoot as well. So you've got your light brown and your cream playing off each other, very nice together, very good complementation between those 2 shoes, those 2 materials. And then back from that a little bit and you get to some classic kind of standard structure of a Huarache. As you get the perforated, ventilated bottom half of the tongue system going on there. And now we're kind of switching up and getting to a more light grey feel to the shoe. But then the fourth color that sort of balances that light grey out is a darker grey on the heel support and the outsole, but it's almost olive. I hope I'm able to get close enough to it on the green screen and give you guys a look at it to get a sense that there's almost just a hint of green in here, and it totally works. I don't know if they'd gone with a solid grey instead of a sort of almost green grey, I think it would have taken away from the shoe, but it really works in contrast to that light grey around that perforated area at the bottom of the lacing system. You go across to the darker grey, almost green of the support rubber around the shoe, and then that's matched with the outsole. So before we get to my favorite part of the shoe, we'll go to the outsole, and I'll show you that just now. Very simple standard Huarache outsole, but definitely in the basic colorways of the shoe with that deeper, almost olive green. I'm going with it's a feeling of green. It's not actually in your face green, but a feeling of green on that section of the shoe. So you've got this blend of colors that have run through the shoe, from the darker brown to the lighter cream to the lighter grey, and then to the darker grey, almost green grey of the outsole and that ankle and heel support section. But then my favourite bit is that ankle and heel support section round the back, because this was a feature on I keep saying that, on the shoe from a few days ago, and then today as well. You can see there's a sort of tan translucent band across the back, in almost brown, almost tan, and it really is a unique element to this shoe. It really brings this together and finishes off. It's just perfect, the exact right choice that you'd want at the back of these guys in terms of color, in terms of translucence, in terms of design. So it really brings the shoe together and stands out as a unique element. And something else that does that well, which surprised me, is if we go up to the tongues and have a look at the disc branding up there, which is mainly in red. And again, that kind of surprised me that it doesn't disrupt the shoe. I thought it would disrupt the shoe being too red, but maybe it's just a deep enough red alongside the brown of that suede that they kind of balance each other out enough. But it doesn't sort of jump out and stand in contrast to the shoe, something I wouldn't appreciate. But the way it is, it fits absolutely perfectly. And coming back out, having a look at the whole shoe again. It's a beautiful, beautiful shoe. I don't see a single thing wrong with this. Every single decision on it fits absolutely perfectly. I don't mind that it doesn't have Stussy branding on there. I really don't. It's just a great looking shoe. Now, there might be some hidden Stussy in there that I haven't found, and you can tell us about in the comments down below. But for me, nice job, Nike. Nice job, Stussy. You've pulled it out of the bag. It's a beautiful shoe. So fingers crossed, anyone out there interested in getting their hands on them. In a couple of days' time, February 12th, at like I said, the flagship store in London for Stussy, or a few days later on the sneakers app at Nike, you might be able to get your hands on them. But I'm guessing it's going to be tough. Okay, it's time for me to sign off, and just thank you guys for checking out the content. Truly appreciate it. Trying to keep ahead of the channel these days and doing a better job than I have been doing recently. So fingers crossed we can keep that going. But for now, all I have to do is just to thank you guys for checking out the content and say what I say at the end of every single video, which is that I do this every single day. And that means you are guaranteed to see me tomorrow.